Hi, Angelo.
Hi, Ricardo.
Good to see you. How are you?
Very good.
Are you ready for today?
Yes.
Let's go. Over the recent years, the semiconductor industry is growing very, very fast. There are so many applications where traditional silicon-based device and wide bandgap, silicon carbide and gallium nitride are widely implemented and used among our customers worldwide. My name is Ricardo. I'm responsible globally for Future Power Solution at Future Electronics, and today I have the great pleasure to be in STMicroelectronics Catania, and I'm with Angelo Rao. Welcome, Angelo.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me today. So Angelo is the General Manager for Silicon Carbide and IGBT division at STMicroelectronics, and together we're going to touch on several points: the investment, the strategy around power, and particular wide bandgap device, silicon carbide. So I'm really looking forward to it. So let's start. Angelo, first of all, thank you for having me here. For me, it's a pleasure. I'm Sicilian, so for me to be here is I'm very proud to be here. Maybe we can start just introducing your role at STMicroelectronics, emphasizing
Sure.
the power focus that your company has since it was founded.
Sure. Thank you very much, Ricardo. Welcome to be here in Catania. Today we are here in the what we call Silicon Carbide campus. Okay, I will explain you later why. I'm Angelo Rao. I'm the general manager of the Silicon Carbide and IGBT division. So ST has a big focus on the power electronics and on the power technologies. Maintain the identity of a broad range supplier. So as you definitely know, in ST we do have digital products, analog products, and power products. In the power products, the headquarters of the power products is Catania, and in the power products we do have silicon and wide bandgap. Of course, in the wide bandgap there has been a big investment, there is a big focus, also because this is supporting the mega trend of today market, and we will talk later the various applications. When we talk about silicon products, we have to make a focus on the portfolio that we do have. So we talk about the IGBT from the 400 volt to the 1700 volt. We talk about the MOSFET from 30 volt, different technologies up to 1700 volt with the supreme superjunction technologies. And then definitely we cannot forget that we do have as well the diode, the rectifier, and protection. And this is the power portion that we handle mainly in Catania. Catania is the hub center of the power, and this is from Catania that the power is born and is still centered here.
So before we dig into more details on investment, I'm curious because you are the first one to invest in Catania in Sicily. I wonder why you have chosen Catania, in particular South Italy, and I couldn't be more happier because again for us, for Sicilian, is a kind of to be proud to have such an important company in our land.
Sure. ST Catania and the power in Catania has a long history. If we go back many years, we start from what we call today legacy mature technology. It was the small signal and the power bipolar technology. And from there, the power moving through the power MOSFET, going through the various technologies and the planar, and then landing in the superjunction. And for the future, we will see new technologies also in power MOSFET, IGBT from planar to trench. So, and it uses all the ecosystem that there is around Catania and in Sicily. So the CNR, the university, all the competencies that through the years has been developed. Silicon Carbide born in Catania from a collaboration between the company and the research institute that was in Catania more than 2 decades ago, and grew up till becoming a product and becoming, let's say, the reality of today that is the center of the investment that power and transform the application world.
Yeah, yeah. So it's incredible. I studied in Palermo power electronics, and I did my thesis in ST Catania 20 years ago. And today, when I came back, I see after more than 20 years a much bigger fab, a much bigger building. So the expansion that ST are doing is unbelievable. So of course the power domain is a tough market. There are so many competitors out there. How ST? What's the key point for ST to be successful? How ST differentiate versus your competitors, in particular on the power domain?
When we talk about the power, we have to and the investment. What differentiates ST in the market? Definitely, I would distribute on three different points. One is the product portfolio and the technologies behind. We develop based on the application needs. So each product, no matter if it is a power MOSFET, if it's an IGBT, or if it is a silicon carbide, or will be a gallium nitride, is targeting the application needs and is developed with in mind the emission profile of the application. Second is the manufacturing footprint. So in manufacturing footprint, we are, as I said before, we are broad range, so we can control the full supply chain of the product from offer to our customer, from microcontroller digital to the power product and analog, of course, that drive the power. Especially if we talk about the investment, so the two major investment, of course, are in the silicon carbide, okay? And one we are sitting inside today, okay? This is a full vertical integrated manufacture plant, let's say, we call campus because it's starting from the powder, then generate the substrate, move to the wafer. We have, of course, testing at wafer level. We will move to packaging, final testing, shipment. So you understand that is the only one, is quite unique, that is controlling and having in only one place all the chain. So you control the chain, you are close to the designer, you are close to all the technical environment. This improves also the debugging quality and robustness. And of course, this is a modern campus, full automated.
So you also mentioned the supply chain, and I think this is also where together Future Electronics and ST can work together to try to delight our customer to make sure that we deliver on time. I think ST and Future Electronics have been partners for forever, for more than 25 years. And I think we have a very strong relationship, and again, together we want to win to our customers. So touching on the application, so we are focusing now more on the silicon carbide on wide bandgap, and we know that customers are starting to implement, and we think that as a distributor is really where we can add more value on the technical point, because it's a new material, a new switching much more faster. So engineer needs to find their way when they use silicon carbide. So when we talk about target applications, industrial, automotive, where do you feel you are really leading globally, and where you feel ST is strong? In which application you are targeting for silicon carbide?
For silicon carbide, we target both automotive and industrial. Of course, ST today is recognized as leader in automotive, because it's the first one that ramp in volume in the automotive sector, powering the traction inverter of the electric car. We do focus in any case in both. Okay, today the automotive has made more use of the silicon carbide than industrial, but the automotive and industrial are totally interconnected together. This is an ecosystem, no? So from one side, we do have the electric vehicle, and inside the electric vehicle, there is the explosion of the semiconductor inside compared with the, let's say, for power portion, compared with the traditional combustion car. From the other side, there is the industrial and the energy inside the industrial, because energy generation, management, and transmission are somehow interconnected with the electric vehicle, and both of them are interconnected with the green efficiency and decarbonization.
I've seen that the car parking here is under the
Photovoltaic.
panels, so that's crazy. And also, a few months ago at Electronica in Munich, I've seen you in your stand. You were showing what everything which is inside the car.
Yes.
It's unbelievable how the connection and all the power management, the traction inverter, and all these things. And for sure, that's the future because we know we are going versus the zero CO2 emission, and so everything must be electrical and not only car. I think motorbike, tuk-tuk. There are so many vehicles that they are going to be electric.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking about we want to help our customer, and most of the time the customer they feel more confident if they start from something that is working. So reference design, evaluation board. In terms of ecosystem that you are offering to your customer, what they find, what they can use, are you providing them a kind of board or reference design for such application where you use silicon carbide?
Yes, we support the customer starting from the web, but also direct, and of course also with you as a partner. We value a lot the partnership with our distributors, and specifically, as you said, with the Future, that we work together since 20 years. So we support from the web for the designer technical documentation, application note, data sheet, modeling, evaluation board, reference design, software, no?
That's
because when we touch now we are in the modern area. We discussed about the automotive, the traction inverter. We discussed about the energy management. So this is the field of new material, and we say that there is the silicon carbide. The new material call for new packages, and in the new packages, then we move to also not anymore the single discrete package that can be top side or dual side cooling, but we move also to the module. When we touch to the module, we start to discuss about system. So a competence are inside. So the software that we have in the website is giving the opportunity to the designer to choose the module, to choose the topology, and to simulate electrical and thermically what is going to happen based on his mission profile. Yeah. The software is really dynamic. It is based on a very accurate modeling of the device. So then we offer training, webinar, and of course, our close collaboration help to go through really any type of customer, because you are very spread in the market, right? So, and you have a fantastic technical competence as well that we can transfer, and then you can approach them also from this point of view. On top of that, we have localized the competence center. We have the competence center in Asia for industrial and for automotive. We have the competence center in US, and we have the competence center in Europe, between the center of Europe, but also in Catania. In Catania, we have two special labs where we can build also prototype, modeling, but even more, we can talk about the system. So we have the system lab also in Catania, which is our partner in collaboration, because we link the digital portion with the power portion.
Angelo, you mentioned different things. So you mentioned the technical competence that we have at Future, and actually we invested a lot in power resources over the last 5-6 years. So we have Power FA, dedicated resources for our customer across the globe, more than 20 in Europe, Asia, America, and this is where we try to differentiate ourselves from the technical competence that we have. But you also mentioned the package, which is very important, because when silicon carbide was born many years ago, customer thinks that it was at the end the same package, they could treat it as a silicon. But of course, if they want to get the best from silicon carbide, there must be an optimized package. And now we see that the 4 legs, the topside cooling, the integration in module, the SMIC pack that you have.
Yes.
So that's very important because it's different material, different performance, so different package, of course. And then you mentioned about digital, the software, and this is very important because I think you are probably one of the very few suppliers over there able to offer the full solution, the full BOM. Now you have a microcontroller, microprocessor, the analog signal chain, the power management, the semiconductor, and it's important, to be able to help customer on all these aspects. So well done for that.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Angelo, I've got another question. China is a very important country. The market in China is different. It's kind of a different market everywhere. How ST is working in this market in China? What ST are doing in China to be able to be successful also in this country?
Yeah, definitely. In the China market evolved a lot in the last 5 years, let's say, no? And the electrification, the automotive itself, the new way of the automotive help this very quick and strong evolution. So in China, we are having an important investment. We have in place a joint venture with a local manufacturer for the silicon carbide. So the idea and the strategy behind is to serve the China from China using the ecosystem of China with the ST technology development. So we will develop and manufacture the ST technology silicon carbide in China, okay. And we will use then this ecosystem to support the China market, both automotive and industrial. We have created an important center of quality in ST China to support also the China. No, that is another very important point because we have discussed about application, we have discussed about portfolio, we have discussed about the supply chain. Of course, our focus is in quality, reliability, and robustness. So this is another point of the investment of ST, one to create and to localize for fast support to the customer, center of quality and reliability in Asia, in US, and in Europe.
That's great. Thank you much. It's very important to be specific in different countries and understand that. Angelo, we were talking before about the vertical plan. We are in a vertical plan, and you were describing the process. But we move now here, and I can see, this is explained, and we can see, from the beginning to the end. Can you explain and maybe go in more details on what we have here, please?
Yes. So this is exactly the real example of the full vertical integration, how we then control the full supply chain. So we start from the silicon and carbide powder, and through the various process, we get out the substrate that, as you can see, is a transparent substrate for silicon carbide. Then, through the other processes, then we arrive to the silicon carbide wafer. The silicon carbide wafer that is going to be tested and then move to the backend that here is interconnected in our idea of the full vertical integration. And of course, when we talk about backend, we talk about packaging that, let's say, optimize the characteristic of the silicon carbide, and we talk about the packaging, high-end packaging. In this case, we have some example for automotive packages, module and discrete. But even in the discrete, we talk about the packages that are topside cooling with the special material for the top side, sure, that enhance the electrical performance of the component.
Thermal management
Yes.
is very important for sure. So, Angelo, I will stay here many hours to talk to you, but we come to the end. So I really want to thank you for your time today. For me, again, it's a great pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me. See you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks also to our audience for listening us. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at shapingthefuture@futureelectronics.com. We will be very happy to get back to you. So thank you for watching the current episode and see you next time around.